What if I told you the biggest tragedy isn't failing? It's watching yourself fail while doing absolutely nothing to stop it. Imagine this. You wake up, you scroll, you waste hours, you promise yourself that tomorrow will be different, but tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next year. And suddenly, you're looking at a version of yourself you don't even recognize. Here's the scary part. Most people who waste their lives aren't lazy. They're painfully aware of what's happening. They know they're destroying their future. They hate themselves for it. Yet every single day, they repeat the exact same behaviors. Why? Why does someone knowingly stay trapped in a life they don't want? Today, we're going to uncover the psychology behind this invisible prison. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why intelligence isn't enough, motivation isn't enough, even discipline isn't where the story begins. Because the real enemy is hiding much deeper inside your mind. People think wasted potential looks like someone who doesn't care. Reality is much darker. The people with the most wasted potential usually care the most. They think about changing every single day. They watch productivity videos, read self-improvement books, buy courses, make plans, create schedules. They know exactly what they should do. Yet somehow, nothing changes. This creates something psychologists call cognitive dissonance. Your brain hates the gap between who I know I could become and who I actually am. That gap creates guilt, shame, anxiety, self-hatred. But instead of using those emotions as fuel, your brain tries to escape them. Not solve them. Escape them. That's why you open TikTok, Netflix, games, food, porn, anything that numbs the pain. The distraction isn't the problem. The distraction is the painkiller. The real wound is underneath. The real reason goes deeper. Your brain was never designed to make you successful. It was designed to keep you alive. And survival always beats ambition. Think about it. Your brain asks one question before every action. Is this safe? Not, will this improve my future? Starting a business? Risky. Going to the gym? Painful. Learning new skills? Uncomfortable. Posting your first video? Terrifying. Doing nothing? Safe. Predictable. Familiar. Your brain would rather keep you in a miserable life it understands than risk a better life it doesn't. That's why people stay in toxic relationships, stay in jobs they hate, stay broke, stay unhealthy, not because they're weak, because familiarity feels safer than uncertainty, even when familiarity is destroying them. This part explains everything. Most people think they have bad habits, but habits aren't the real problem. Identity is. Every action you repeat becomes evidence for who you believe you are. Miss the gym once, no problem. Miss it for 6 months, and eventually your brain starts saying, I'm just not someone who's disciplined. Procrastinate long enough, I'm lazy. Fail enough, I'm a failure. And once your identity changes, your brain begins protecting it. Read that again. Your brain protects your identity, even if your identity is ruining your life. Because changing identity feels like losing a part of yourself. That's why people sabotage success. Deep down, success doesn't match who they believe they are. Imagine someone who secretly believes, I'm not good enough. Every opportunity becomes uncomfortable. Every compliment feels fake. Every achievement feels temporary. Not because they're lying, but because it conflicts with their identity. You don't behave according to your goals. You behave according to the story you believe about yourself. There's another reason people stay stuck, and almost nobody discusses it. They become addicted to potential. Potential feels amazing. Thinking about becoming successful gives your brain a small reward. Planning, dreaming, imagining, watching motivational videos, making vision boards. Your brain gets a dopamine hit without doing the hard work. Eventually, thinking replaces acting. You become addicted to imagining a better future instead of building one. That's why some people spend years preparing but never beginning. They don't fear failure, they fear discovering who they really are. Because as long as the dream stays in their head, it can never fail. Reality is terrifying. Fantasy is comfortable. Have you noticed something? Most people don't quit forever. They restart again and again and again. Every Monday, every New Year, every birthday. I'll change this time. Then 3 days later, they're back where they started. Why? Because they rely on emotion. They wait until they feel ready. But emotions are temporary. Systems are permanent. Imagine brushing your teeth. Do you wake up motivated? No. You do it because it's automatic. Success works the same way. The people you admire aren't constantly motivated. They simply removed the daily decision. Action became habit. Habit became identity. Identity became destiny. So how do you escape? Not with motivation. Not with another inspirational quote. You escape by rebuilding your identity. Here's how. Stop asking, how do I become successful? Instead ask, what would a person like that do today? Not this year, today. A disciplined person doesn't need a perfect morning. They simply don't negotiate with themselves. A healthy person doesn't eat perfectly forever. They make one healthy choice. A writer writes 1 page. A runner runs 1 mile. A creator publishes 1 video. Small actions seem insignificant, but every action sends a message to your brain. I am becoming this person. Your identity isn't built through thinking. It's built through evidence, one action, repeated long enough. Eventually, the old version of you begins disappearing. Not because you forced yourself, because your brain finally accepts, this is who I am now. Maybe you've been calling yourself lazy, but maybe you were never lazy. Maybe you were trapped. Trapped by fear. Trapped by shame. Trapped by an identity you never consciously chose. The beautiful thing about identity is that it can change. Every single day, you vote for the person you're becoming, with every decision, every hour, every habit. The question isn't, can you change your life? The question is, what are you proving to yourself today? Because 5 years from now, your future won't be built by one giant decision. It will be built by thousands of tiny votes that quietly shaped the person you became. So when this video ends, don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for Monday. Don't wait until you feel motivated. Choose one action. One. Because the life you've been dreaming about doesn't begin with motivation. It begins the moment you stop waiting to become someone else and start acting like the person you're capable of being. If this video made you see yourself in a different way, subscribe. Because sometimes the most important thing you can change is the story you keep telling yourself.